Welcome back to this already the final segment of today's Price of Business, brought to you in part by our friends over at Standard Supply, at Super Interns. I'm trying to think who else I may have got. The folks over at Abbey Executive Suites. I think I covered everybody that we had on today's program. Thanks to all of them for being a part of the program and bringing this program to you. Do you want to mention the fact I've got several new articles over there at HuffingtonPost.com, and Huffington Post is clearly a liberal website, no question about it. But I got to tell you, they have been awesome to work with. I've been writing for them for almost 2 years, and very rarely, I would say, in fact, the only content they've never published of mine has been business related, not political related. And I'm conservative/libertarian in my writing, and they always publish my writing that's political. I find that interesting because I really thought there'd be a lot of resistance. I thought there'd be a lot of manipulation of the writing, a lot of changes. They never change it. They either post it or they don't. And unless it's business, because they're afraid I might have an interest in that business, is the only reason why they don't publish my business articles. I'll do profiles of different businesses, and so they're afraid I might have an interest and choose not to. Like a financial interest, and so they'll choose not to do it. And so I don't write those articles. They don't care, though. And so it's an interesting deal. My most recent article, for example, on Rick Perry, on why this indictment against him could prove to be a very big positive, a plus for his presidential ambitions. They made that a feature article for their politics page. It was one of their lead articles for most of the day yesterday. And so rarely has that happened, and got over 100 likes in about 3 hours. And so I thought that was cool, and over 50 shares in the same time frame. And so that's a lot of traction. So that was kind of cool. But I love working with those guys.
That surprises me that they are that friendly to your conservative libertarian viewpoint. Not so much libertarian, but conservative more so. It surprises me that they're that friendly. I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
But it is surprising nonetheless.
I beat up both Republicans and Democrats. I beat them both up.
Well, they both deserve it.
And they both deserve it, absolutely. And so I think that's probably it. I'm not a ideologue, or I'm not a partisan.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm an ideologue, but I'm not a partisan.
Well, but
I think that resonates with them a little bit.
I don't think there's any doubt, though, that you're less than a fan of the Obama administration and the current climate politically, and so I would say that most HuffPo contributors and most HuffPo readers are left of center.
Oh yeah,
and so it really does. I mean, it's not the Daily Kos, but it does surprise me that they are that friendly to you. I'm glad they are.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
been interesting. Yeah, I will admit that the comments on the bottom are rarely that friendly.
Okay, that makes more sense.
My article on the left and the rich and their allies, their strange allies, which basically talked about the
Limousine
fact that
liberals.
the top 1% at a margin of 2-1 voted Democrat over Republican. And in fact, this week the one of the headlines for the Huffington Post was that corporations are voting Democrat in this election cycle again. Reason why is the bigger the business, the more likely they can not only afford liberal policies, but they can benefit from liberal policies by making a more hostile environment for those who are small business competitors.
They strong-arm the entrepreneurs, and there's a very interesting Facebook and website, if you've ever seen the Cronies, Kronies, Cronies, and they poke fun at that very notion that, and it's very nonpartisan. They go after Democrats and Republicans, but anybody that is trying to strong-arm the entrepreneurs, the small business owners, and kind of keep all the wealth to themselves, like you're saying in that article. You ought to check that out too, the Cronies.
Yep, absolutely. So, and I will say this, that the liberals like the poor. They love the poor, in fact, and they try to create more of them, through economic policies.
They love them so much they want to grow.
We got to have more poor, obviously.
Right.
In fact, we need to import them. We need to import poverty through our immigration policies or lack of. So it's an interesting thing. But props, actually, to Huffington Post. I appreciate what they do and what they've done with me, at least. And if you want to find all of my content, probably the easiest way is to put in Kevin Price, Huffington Post, on Google, and it will pop up, but lots of recent columns. And I've kind of recommitted. I'm going to try to do one a week is my goal.
I can't wait to read that Rick Perry article. That sounds fascinating. 'Cause
yeah.
on its face, saying Rick Perry, that this whole indictment may end up being a boost for him with the Tea Party.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing, take on it.
Well, they're not as true. Time will tell. But think about how the average small business guy has been beaten up by the EPA. Think about the organizations that tried to get a tax-exempt status and couldn't because of special treatment by the IRS. So in both cases, you've got overreaching government. There's empathy there. There's empathy when people see individuals being abused by government.
Yeah.
There's empathy there, and I think that's what it's going to create.
Well, there's no doubt that he's being abused, and we'll see how it all shakes out. But, yeah, I want to check out that article myself.
Well, I think you should. I think everyone should, and I appreciate that. All right, when we come back tomorrow, we're going to have much more for you, as always. We want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. Have a great day. Spend it right here.